Well, hello and welcome to the August 2023 edition of Ask Me Anything Live. I'm Alderman Nick Palumbo, hopefully here with you live. Yes, we are experiencing technical difficulties. Would someone please rid me of this meddlesome Comcast and this very poor internet connection that we have to struggle with here. But if you can see me out there, okay, I guess this thing is on. We'll continue pressing ahead for the next hour, answering your questions all about the city of Savannah and the things that are impacting you. If this is your first time here with us, welcome aboard. For the next hour, we're going to be answering questions. You just drop them in the comment box, and I should be able to see them. Should being the key word. Let's see if this thing is on, because I'm broadcasting on 3 different platforms simultaneously. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, and I'm now on YouTube as well. So we are platform agnostic over here. I don't even know if you can call it Twitter anymore. Now it's X or whatever it was. Elon Musk purchased the website x.com a long time ago, and he's been trying to find a use for that website ever since. So I guess Twitter is now an X. I'm just trying to stay with the times. But I'm not broadcasting on Instagram. That's not a feature quite yet. But we do have TikTok and Instagram. You'll have to go check us out and follow it as well. But for Ask Me Anything Live, you can literally ask me anything all about the city of Savannah, and I will do my best to answer. If I don't have the answers, we'll either find out together or we'll get back in touch and we will find those answers for you. Likewise, if you just want to drop me a comment, say, hey, how you doing? That is perfectly appropriate and fine as well, because I love connecting with constituents to find out what's going on in your neck of the woods. So drop us a comment that's out there, and we have tons and tons and tons of updates of things happening throughout the city and especially here in the 4th District. But I'll be here right for the next hour answering all of those questions. We have had, a real exhausting return to Savannah City Council after a 5-week break. As you notice in our calendar schedule here, we had no meeting in the early meeting in the first half of July that's out there. So we returned on July 27th after about a 5-week split between the different. And boy, did we make up for it for lost time with over 60 items, 60 items on the agenda. Land use issues, of course, debating all about the stormwater fund, millage rate, all of those fun things. But the business of the city got done. And we can expect for the rest of the year, we're not losing any momentum. Usually by this time of the year, things begin to slow down here in Savannah, especially as kids go back to school. We get back in the rhythm of things. But there appears no signs of stopping because we're going to have lots of stuff yet up ahead. I know that even in the 4th District, we have residents that are petitioning the city. We've got the Ardsley Park Chatham Crescent Garden Club that should be appearing on the August 10th meeting regarding a monument that they're a fountain that they're going to be commissioning for Kavanaugh Park, and lots of good stuff there as well. We've got stormwater updates, drainage updates, Hall Park splash pad updates, Tide to Town updates, all of the good stuff here. So please invite a friend, hit that share button, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, all to stay in tune with what is happening here in our district. And Kayla, my good friend Kayla, is here with us and asking the real prescient questions here. How is getting dunked at Hall 2.0? So is it Hall Park 2.0? It's H2O, Hall 2.0. But getting dunked was awesome. I love getting, it was fun. It was perfect timing because we'd been out in the sun for about 2 hours. So it was about time to get dunked. The only thing that a very wise watcher said, he said, hey, there have been people getting dunked in that freshwater tank without any chlorine for the last 2 hours. Whenever you get knocked in, make sure you close your mouth. Thank you, kind soul. Thank you so much, because that water was getting funky after a couple of hours. Everybody's having too good of a time. So dirt, grass, everything, all manner of things all up in there. But Hall Park, Hall 2.0 was a huge success. And thank you so much to the Neighborhood Association, the City of Savannah, all of the partners, the real estate agents, the sponsors, the teams, and the volunteers that all came together to come and celebrate a nice water day and become really a back-to-school event for the neighborhood. It came together in less than a week, if you can believe that. But they had water slides out there, a bounce castle, and of course the dunk tank, which I took a dive in the dunk tank. If you want to see a dive in the dunk tank and your 4th District Alderman, out there, you can check it out on our newsletter, our weekly newsletter, Notes from Nick, which if you're not signed up for, you're really missing out on all the great 4th District stuff out there. But please do consider signing up by going to www.nickforsavannah.com because you will get the weekly insights of all the stuff that's on my mind, of what's happening throughout the city and throughout the community, but especially tailor-made right here for the 4th District of what's happening in your neighborhood. So we've got, good, friendly neighborhood updates, and we have lots of updates and outreach coming up with our Vision Zero efforts. So coming up this less than a week, I'm going to pull up the dates now so that everybody is prepared for, we're going to have a 2-day, 4 different event extravaganza all about Vision Zero. And if you're not familiar with Vision Zero, now is the perfect time to get involved. If you've ever been frustrated with traffic, if you've ever been frustrated with speeding, if you've ever tried to get around town, you've been frustrated with people, trying to run you over and you've been frustrated about it. I'm just going to keep on saying frustrating because I know that people are extraordinarily anxious out there and people are dying. They are dying more often than they ever have been before in Chatham County. 42 people lost their lives in traffic death last year, which is extraordinary. It's extraordinarily sad for a community our size to see it so prevalent. But the city of Savannah is taking the pledge with the Savannah City Council passing the Vision Zero pledge within 5 years to put together a remarkable effort of a plan in infrastructure upgrades that are going to help build out greater and better designs to help keep people safe in our community. Whether you bike, whether you walk, whether you drive, whether you wheel, and any manner of mobility styles that are out there, that you have a safe method of getting out there. So we're going to be led by a fantastic street designer by the name of Rick Hall. Rick's hails from Tallahassee, but we don't hold that against him. He has an extraordinary reputation in the streets community, if we can call it that, in the streets community, all about context-sensitive design. And I know what you're thinking. Well, what the hell is that? A context-sensitive design? This sounds like a bunch of jargon, gobbledygook. A context-sensitive design is that the design of the street matches the urban form in the neighborhood that surrounds it. If you're in a neighborhood, the street should look like a neighborhood street. If you're in an urban area, it should look like it, but it's designed for people to be able to get around, right? Something that you can be proud of. The funny thing is that the best context-sensitive designer out there in Savannah is about 290 years young. His name was James Edward Oglethorpe out there, and he put together a great plan for us. So we have some fantastic DNA all built into our rights of way here in the city. And we're just going to be returning back to form about the things that make Savannah so famously walkable and pleasant to be around. And those little bits of DNA, we're going to find them and we're going to put them back into the rest of the DNA of the city so that everyone can have a street that they can be proud of. Our vision is that a parent can walk their child on any Savannah street safely and with pride and with honor, and that they can be proud of it. So it's going to take us a long way to get there because we have 700 miles of right of way. But thank you so much, Caleb Brown, with the assist. Here we go. The City of Savannah's Vision Zero website, which is being nicely built out right now. I see new links up there, new engagement methods, so that you can go out there today and let's check it out. I mean, come on, let's check this bad boy out. SavannahGA.gov.Vision Zero. Yes, and it is working. I can confirm that it is working. In addition, you got opportunities to get involved because it's coming up this August. So next Tuesday, next week, in 7 days, Tuesday, August 8th, at the Armstrong Center Ballroom down on the south side, you'll have 2 opportunities that day at Armstrong to come on in. So you can come into the drop-in session, which is any time you just pop in from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., You got lunch plans? Come on, scrap them. You can come on down and come and get engaged for Vision Zero from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Tuesday, August 8th at the Armstrong Center. Or you can come back that night from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. for an interactive workshop. And this is where we're asking for audience participation so that we can see those hotspots. We have the data because we know where the crashes are happening. We know where the danger is happening. We know where people are getting injured. But we want to know much more than that. Vision Zero goes beyond just the metrics. It's about how you're experiencing the right-of-way, because we want to get out in front of it and be proactive, not just reactive. So come on down to the interactive workshop where you're going to be able to participate in real time with urban planners, traffic engineers, designers out there from the City of Savannah to hear your concerns. And come on, let us have it so that we know the places that we need to prioritize to fix first. I'm convinced it's not an if, but a when. The funding will become available, whether it be through a grant, SPLOST, T-SPLOST, all of those will come about because I feel that built up demand from the public. And we need to respond to you about improving our public rights of way. So I'm confident that those dollars are going to come in. Then we're going to start transforming these rights of way. We just need to know where to prioritize first, and we want to hear from you. That's going to be the toughest challenge, is with 700 miles away right of way. Where do you begin? Well, eat the elephant one bite at a time. But let's say you don't like Tuesdays. Maybe you don't like going on all the way down there. Maybe you say Southside. That's not for me. I want to have an opportunity to go downtown. I want to see the Savannah Civic Center ballroom. That's where I want to see it. Well, we got you. Wednesday, August 9th at the Savannah Civic Center ballroom. You can do the same thing for our Vision Zero initiative. You have the drop-in session from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Where you can drop in anytime and say hello, stick around 5 minutes or a couple of hours. Or you can come to the interactive workshop, this time, though, from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And I'm positive that won't trip anybody up. So on Tuesday, you go to the interactive workshop from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. And on Wednesday, August 9th, you can go to the Savannah Civic Center Ballroom interactive workshop from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. By following the link, you can do one of two things that are really important. One, check out the City of Savannah's Vision Zero plan. It's lean, it's mean, it's a fighting machine. Come and check it out to see our vision for the future, because everybody that lives in Savannah or experiences Savannah experiences our rights of way in different ways. We all want them to be better. So come and check out our plan of where we're going to prioritize safety and tackle first. And then the other thing that you need to do is stay up to date on Vision Zero and join the mailing list. Right down there at the bottom of the big yellow button with the arrows on it says subscribe. I know you're thinking another email list. Well, come on, man. But this one matters. So I've signed up for the Vision Zero mailing list. Come and check out the website and check back often as we flesh this out, because there's going to be a lot of opportunities to get involved right here in the public right-of-way and help shape your streets in your neighborhood and throughout the city to help eliminate traffic death as we accomplish this noble goal. 42 lives lost is 42 too many in Chatham County, and we stand together with our partners, not just as the City of Savannah and One Savannah, but as one Chatham County, as we push forward this ambitious but important initiative to save lives. So Vision Zero is super exciting, and there's been a lot of coverage in the media lately, all about Vision Zero, tied to town, and all of these public rights of way. And like I said, I am feeling it. I'm feeling this movement grow. I know that more people are active and involved than ever before. And as we experience more people moving here than ever before, the demand is so much higher for those beautiful places that we know and love here in Savannah, and to just build more of them in more capacity. One of the biggest components of that and the ability to get around safely in an enjoyable way is, of course, Tied to Town. And Tied to Town now has been the recipient of ARPA funding and infrastructure funding to help it complete that leg from Jenkins High School over to Daffin Park. And I'm super excited about the progress that we're making, and a $10 million contribution from the visitors to this city in the form of hotel motel taxes to help extend the trail even further. So you guys are starting to see the vision come together in real time. We've been talking about this for years, but now that the funding has become available, now that the engineering is getting online, it's exciting to see this come to fruition. So where are we? In Truman Linear Park Trail Phase 2B, which goes from Lake Mayer all the way up to Daffin Park. That one is shovel ready. I believe it is actually out to bid right now. If you are a bidder and you wish to bid on this project, come on, now's your chance. If you want to do a multi-million-dollar trail extension, we welcome all competitors to come and bid on this bad boy and get us the best price possible. We've gone through the GDOT clearances to get that done. In addition to that, it's figuring out the engineering steps for the next phases. So we have a pledge from the city manager that we're going to bring on board a full-time coordinator just for Tied to Town. This comprehensive loop encompasses almost our entire city. 70% of neighborhoods are connected to it within a short distance. Countless schools, our hospitals, our universities. So this is going to be a comprehensive effort where you're going to see lots of hopefully building going on simultaneously all on the trail as demand has just surged, not just for this amenity, but for an essential component in our urban fabric. Because people are demanding more than ever different ways of getting around, and the traffic just isn't quite getting any easier. So that's an exciting update for Tied to Town. I still don't have a date yet for a groundbreaking, but we will stay tuned. If we had one, I know that Kayla would drop into the comments right now and certainly lay one on us. She is the first to have her ear to the ground to see what's the latest. But it's exciting to see the things that we've been working on as a council to set that vision for mobility coming to fruition. In addition to that, we also submitted an application for grant funding for tens of millions of dollars. Hey, you can't win if you don't play. For grant funding for Safe Streets for All. Now, I know this has been a lot of jargon in this episode of Ask Me Anything Live, but if you're not familiar, Safe Streets for All is the federal effort to do the same things that we're doing right here in the city of Savannah to save lives and get funding into the hands of local communities to help make a difference. So I've taken a look at the application, and we've done a great job submitting the application this year. It is not easy to go after these grants, guys. You have to spend months of time grabbing the data, putting it together. But this is a solid application this year, and we are going to do everything, even if I have to go to church twice a week until the grant announcement is made. We will do everything in our power to bring it home for Savannah. We have lodged a small but mighty complaint with our federal partners, expressing that we were extraordinarily disappointed that large metropolitan cities yet again have won out on these federal grant dollars. Larger cities like Atlanta have the ability to have full-time grant writer staff just dedicated to go after these. They can hire lobbyists to help lobby everybody. They just have so much more capacity. And I feel great for cities like Atlanta and Milwaukee and others that have been able to get these dollars for Safe Streets for All, but we want to bring it home for Savannah too. So we've gotten all of our federal representatives on board for Savannah. Senator Warnock, Senator Ossoff, Congressman Carter have all supported our application for Safe Streets for All to bring those dollars home to Savannah and help us save lives. We prioritized a couple of projects in there, but most notably, we're going to be tackling 37th Street in MLK, which we have highlighted as a hot spot that we need to tackle or re-engineer, and provide more funding for that transportation network Tied to Town, for everybody to be able to get around. You notice that this is that universal thread that's tying communities back together and be able to get around. And it's that we know that it's the most cost-effective way for us to address this goal to help save lives. If we can help people get around their community without having to go on speedy, dangerous rights-of-way, we're going to save lives. It's just that simple. So Kayla is right. We need to bring out the golden shovels. This is an opportunity for us. We're going to be so excited to get that thing. And I still don't have a date, but I will check for the official groundbreaking. But I believe it is out to bid right now. So we'll have to wait and see and hope that folks apply We know that there's an enormous amount of construction activity going on in Savannah right now. And of course, labor shortages abound. If there is a recession that's out there, it is outside of the bubble of Savannah, I can tell you, because the local economy here continues to surge. Housing prices continue to rise, and we'll talk about that. And then even in today's Savannah Morning News, they're talking about the labor shortages already at Hyundai and the ability to get that pipeline and employees, especially for our manufacturing sector, when their average job salary is starting at $58,000 a year. That's remarkable. So that means that cities like us and the marketplace and job providers that are out there and business owners, we are all going to be facing some fierce competition for labor and talent. It is an excellent time to be a job seeker out there, let me tell you, because wages should be rising. You got land, labor, and capital. Those are the three. The old economics teacher in me will tell you. And then when one of them's in a shortage, especially labor, when one of them's in a shortage, that means the prices should rise. So when labor is in a shortage, that means that people should be getting higher wages, and that's going to be good for our local economy. But for right now, we're experiencing certainly those growing pains, even at the City of Savannah, as we adapt to be able to provide more funding for the things that we need. We see things like there's a technical term that I'll put on your radar called value engineering. Value engineering is when the money that you had from yesterday isn't enough to take care of the needs you have today, whether it be to rising cost, inflation, or otherwise. Value engineering means make things cheaper, cut the costs. So just like we've seen splash pads throughout the city, value engineered. Now we're down to, I believe, 10, but stay tuned on that. I would anticipate that it may become less by the time it's done, just because the costs continue to accelerate locally here. The labor market and the materials market is in such a shortage. But this is a great time to be a job seeker. This is a great time to be in the labor force, because you should be, operative word, should be, making more money today as wages continue to rise. The trouble with that is, of course, our housing prices continue to rise. And, if you've been to the grocery store recently, I'm feeling the pain too. How do you add up that one Coca-Cola, a loaf of bread, and 4 cans of chicken noodle soup are $20? Well, it's 2023. What can I say? But I love Publix, and I'm very loyal to my grocery store, creature of habit. I shop like an old Italian grandma. And every day of the week that ends in Y, I definitely go to Publix. But in a pinch, here Kayla has it. The bids are open for Truman Linear Park Trail Phase 2B are open until August 15th. So there's still time. There's still time out there for folks to be competitive. And we want multiple bids, please. We want multiple bids, because that means a better price for you, the taxpayers out there, and more competition to provide those resources. So we're really excited about Truman Linear Park Trail getting underway. We're excited about, of course, you know it, you love it. I dropped off Stormy out there the other day, and spent some time with my good friend Ken Slats, all at the Casey Canal Drainage Project. It's marching its way down 54th Street right now as we speak, as an 18-inch diameter pipe has now become a 5-foot diameter pipe that you can walk through. It is remarkable to see the progress. I know that Reynolds Street is closed and there's a detour right now, but crews are actively working as quick as they can to be able to get through there to minimize disruptions. You'll notice this time around, if you remember the big dig from about 20 years ago, it was far more disruptive way back when. We are doing everything in our power to make sure that we focus only on the right-of-way that we need to be able to get those drainage implements in the ground while minimizing disruptions. That means we're going to move a little bit more slower and methodically, because we want to make sure to measure twice and cut once. And we're replacing an 18-inch terracotta clay pipe with a 5-foot reinforced steel pipe that's out there. There's a remarkable amount of excavation that has to take place to make that possible, but we're rising to the challenge. So it's exciting to see this come about, and it's exciting to see how effective it is already. So even when it's being built out in real time, you can see the difference from one side of the street to the other, where even in a stormwater event like we had 2 weeks ago, you'll see one end of 54th Street will flood, and the other street where the pipe was installed will not. And I know that it's an enormous disruption for the folks that live around the area, but I want you to have the confidence of knowing that this investment will take your homes out of the 100-year floodplain. And for the neighbors that are surrounding it, will make sure that you'll be able to get to your destination, be able to get home, go shop, eat, drink, whatever you need to do, and go about your business without having to worry about getting your car stuck and having to rush all over the neighborhood to get through it. In that last rainwater event, I had calls all over the place. Friends, neighbors, countrymen that are out there, even one resident who decided to chance it and drive through a massive puddle and found that the undercarriage of the car got damaged and they had to take it to the shop. Then again, they had an Audi, and I would have warned them. Yes, at one point in my life, I thought I was a cool guy, and I had a used Audi too. My goodness, I couldn't wait to get rid of that thing. No offense to any of you Audi owners out there, but I chanced it with a used one, and within about 5 minutes of driving it off the lot, the check engine light came on, and I knew the rest of the story. But that Audi didn't make it through the puddle. And we know that these conditions are not isolated just to Midtown Savannah and not just to the 4th District. They're happening citywide. They're happening in Liberty City. They're happening in East Savannah. They're happening in West Savannah. They were happening everywhere. And even, 2 nights ago when the sky broke, we had that torrential downpour. You saw stormwater conditions flooding throughout the city in that small, short span of time. So the great news is that after 290 years, the City of Savannah finally has a dedicated stormwater fund. So thank you to City Council. Thank you to all of the residents. And I see you out there. I saw your letters of support. I saw the letter of support from the Ardsley Park Neighborhood Association. Kudos to you. I saw the letters of support from the community and especially from the 4th District. That you all took the time to chime in and join the movement, and you made a difference. I want you to know how much your letters made a difference. It was not easy. And of course, your other option there was to cut a marginal amount of taxes, in my opinion. The average savings would have been about $40 a year for some homeowners out there across the entire city. But I think that for just that little bit of investment, to have some peace of mind, that we were able to fix 3 major choke points in our entire stormwater system to protect residents of the City of Savannah. 2 of them went over in the 5th District. One is at a major interchange, Victory Drive at Ogeechee. That's right there. There's a box culvert. You can kind of see them. They literally, it's just a concrete box that goes in there. That was undersized at a major choke point where all of those neighborhoods were flooding because of that backup. Vassar Street over in Liberty City, which that was right in the floodplain that everyday, rainwater events are happening and flooding out that community. And then for all of the 3rd, 4th, and the 6th District, an upgrade happened at the Hayners Creek Point, which is right at Montgomery Crossroads near Lake Mayer. If you're driving slow enough on your way to Walmart at Montgomery Crossroads, you'll actually see this lock system. And it's a stormwater pump that pumps out everything from the Casey and Placentia Canal that serve the 3rd and the 4th District. But that is a huge bottleneck that was underserved, and we absolutely need to upgrade it. So thank you, City Council, for dedicating $4 million to upgrade those facilities, which are actually going to improve stormwater conditions for 3 districts in the city itself. So those major choke points, just like we see in major stormwater events that happen, whether they be Houston, in Charleston, or New Orleans, it's those major choke points that get that backup, that water backup that really cause the most amount of damage in a tropical system. For New Orleans, it was the stormwater pumps and the levees. Were the levees broken? Where did they break? How? And what was the strategy behind it? Same goes for Houston, which was far less planned because they were so much farther inland. I don't think that they anticipated taking on so much storm surge, but I know that they're making investments now. It's so critical for the city of Savannah to make those investments today so we don't have to be panicked and worry about them tomorrow. It was not an easy vote. I tell you, we were there from 10 in the morning until about 11:30 at night when we finally broke up and cleared out the rest of the meeting. But the city business definitely got done. And if you watched it, just send me some popcorn. That's all I could say. But the business of the city certainly got done, and more to follow. If you've seen it around, there's going to be a lot of talk, certainly today, tomorrow, and yesterday, and years from now, all about the housing shortage here in the city of Savannah. And we have to do everything in our power to start tackling that with gusto. I'm convinced that the top two items coming up in this election cycle, which we are less than 100 days from election day, the top two items that we'll be facing and people are talking about and that I hear about, number one, of course, is public safety. We focus a lot of that. I mean, it takes the lion's share of our budget for police, fire, code compliance, and those. But the one that I don't think that has gotten enough attention and certainly deserves so much more is the housing crisis that we're going to face for the next 5, 10, or beyond years. And if we fail to address it today and make dramatic moves in these next couple of years, we may be doomed to follow a same pattern of behavior that have befallen other cities in the same housing shortage. What's unique about Savannah is our size. These massive housing crunches have happened in places like New York, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, and now we're coming up on Savannah as well, as you've seen housing prices skyrocket. And we see it in real time. I see it in real time. I see people lobbying on our open chat Facebook pages, looking for housing availability. And I see people that are priced out of the marketplace regularly. I see good friends that are scraping by, trying to take every single dollar that they have just to get ready for that down payment. And the next day, it's put that much farther out of reach, and the goalposts are moved so that they can't have a piece of the American dream. And I feel really, really lucky that in 2013, Kristen twisted my arm and we put the down payment on the house, and we get to live here in Midtown. It was only possible because, I served overseas and spent a year, with Uncle Sam in the Foreign Service in Baghdad to be able to save up for that. But I don't think that you should have to go to Baghdad and join the Foreign Service to be able to afford a home, not in Savannah. I think that housing is a right and that everybody should have access to it at every price point. But to get there, it's going to take an incredible amount of work, and we need to be forward thinking about it. Today, I see an enormous amount of conflict with our urban planning form and our process. I don't know if there's a single person out there that is happy with it. Residents, petitioners, developers, everybody all the way around, or council members, I don't think there's a single person that feels that it's predictable, that it's fair, or that it's transparent. It just seems a funnel of conflict right now. The city of Savannah has always been at its best, with my good friend map of 1930 back here, has always been at its best when it's being ambitious and forward-thinking and planning for the future. Our city's forefathers out there, whenever they expanded the city, it was in a very deliberate fashion. That they faced a shortage or they needed to raise some funds, so that they would expand the city ward by ward by ward in a very deliberate way. And that's why we ended up with so many squares, even though General Oglethorpe only planned for 6. Really, he planned for 4, and then he amended his plan to have 2 more. But somewhere along the way that we got caught up and we exploded. We grew to 700 miles of right-of-way, and we grew to 150,000 residents. We are anticipated to have 50,000 more in the next 10 years, or even beyond that, because that calculation was provided before we knew about Hyundai. We knew that in 2021, when Housing Savannah study was completed, and affordable housing, there's my cat that's trying to get out of, my cat Lily is trying to get out of jail. I may have to let her out. But we know that in 2021, that they were facing it. Okay, let me let her out. Hey, buddy, it's okay. Come on. All right, that's all right. Well, she'll change her mind. In 2021, when we did the housing study, the shortage was 10,000 housing units. That was before we knew about Hyundai. That was before Gulfstream announced the new production lines. That was before all of these major announcements, the battery manufacturers, all of the economic activity that's happening. So, if you can do the math, that that if 10,000 wasn't enough back then, it's not enough today. And as many permits and as new housing as we're trying to put up to be able to get in front of this, still seems not enough. The process and the plan that we have, it seems built upon conflict. We need resident input, and we need a good, solid, remarkable design that's going to be resilient and carry us through this next great century of our city's history. Savannah has the potential to hit a golden age ahead. Our very best days could be right in front of us, but it depends on our ability to plan for it and to seize the opportunity that's out there with all of this economic investment. I believe that it's possible, but it's going to be extraordinarily difficult, and we need the work to see to it, to be forward-thinking enough to see how we're going to fit in and live with all of those new neighbors, but do it in such a way that's sympathetic to the rest of the city, and that neighborhoods can grow together and improve together, and that it's not built upon conflict of neighbor versus neighbor, insider versus outsider, because residents are going to be coming, and they are coming and investing in our city. That's where you're seeing these housing prices continue to skyrocket and rise, even though the rest of the nation may be in a soft landing recession. Could you imagine what's going to happen when the rest of the nation recovers, those interest rates begin to fall, and the economy heats up once again? What is Savannah going to look like then? So now is the time to talk about it and be thinking about it. I've reached out to old friends, urban planning professionals, the like, to pull the band back together, start talking about how we're going to have these profound community conversations all around urban planning, getting around the housing crisis, transportation, and the above. We are very blessed to have some great nationwide thought leaders. The president of the Congress for New Urbanism lives here in Savannah, that she is here. So utilizing them as a resource in combination with our planning efforts, our planning staff, our urban planning and design, and taking a look at that and making sure that they have the resources that they need for us to be proactive and to get in front of the problem. The problem is certainly right here and right now, and we are feeling it, and I hear it from you, certainly. And I want to make sure that the next person that comes behind me and comes to serve, that they'll have the ability to do that too. That they'll be able to, some young couple will be able to start a small business, family-owned business, and make it work, and that they could come and serve on the council someday too. But I feel with every day that passes, if we don't do something and act now, it's getting that much farther out of reach. If y'all know me well, I don't want to do it forever, and that's it. I want to be able to enjoy the city with the rest of you. But of course, I love serving right now and having the capacity to give back. So I'm convinced those are going to be the number one. Number one is always going to be public safety. That's a thing that falls directly to cities and take the primary responsibility on. And we continue investing. We've made some remarkable investments just at the last meeting related to public safety. New training platforms, a new transparent process for internal affairs for you to lodge a complaint where you could do it online. And honestly, if you have a bad experience, new equipment for our officers to be able to do their jobs, and then new technologies and software to help with everyday quality of life issues that are facing communities, particularly in the 4th District and citywide. So one of those is really important. You know it, you love it. I can only say it 2 times, because if I say it 3 times, torches and pitchforks will appear. But short-term vacation rentals are certainly going to have a very healthy enforcement boost coming up. So short-term vacation rentals are the ability to, if you're not familiar, to rent out a single-family home or a multifamily home on a short-term basis through platforms like Airbnb, VRBO, or otherwise. Enforcement is very difficult. The regulations depend neighborhood to neighborhood. Some have short-term vacation rentals, some do not. Some have what's called homestays, where you can live in the home but rent out a carriage house. So it's a patchwork quilt determined by different neighborhoods and their input. So for the longest time, it was complaint driven, entirely complaint driven. Somebody would have to spot it, whether the suitcases were coming and going at odd hours, and have to report it to code compliance and then enforce it that way. Finally, we have a new technology platform that integrates with those websites, Airbnb, VRBO, and gathers their data so that they know when a violation has occurred the moment that they're posted. You can also call. There's going to be a hotline that's provided for you to be able to do that, and they'll take care of enforcement and make sure that everything is brought into compliance. This helps us with the housing front too. Every home that's put onto the market as a short-term vacation rental is one that we're losing the battle on to provide for the rest of the community for our housing crisis, right? So we're trying to strike this balance between a resident's ability to do what they want with their home, neighborhood determination and what they would like, and of course trying to do right by the rest of the city and address this housing crisis. Does it feel like I'm on a high wire yet? Where's the stick, right? All I have is a pen and some sunglasses to balance this out, right? So that's coming online. Council approved that. So we're going to have some much more successful enforcement and regulation when it comes to short-term vacation rentals, and much, much, much more to follow. We've got, let's see. I talked about the new investments that we've made in police equipment, getting them into the 21st century. They were working with a platform that was 20 years old. We overhauled that and updated it. We've got new software out there that improves their training capabilities to be able to invest in the best and the brightest. And then even going down into the management level so that they have, police departments have a management philosophy. These are large organizations, and being able to shape that up as well as our police chief continues to improve morale over at the Savannah Police Department. So we're seeing some remarkable improvements there in public safety. And believe me, it is on our radar. One shooting is one shooting too many. And we want to do everything that we can to fight and eradicate gun violence. So now we have ShotSpotter citywide that can triangulate and pinpoint to the specific square meter where gunfire has occurred in the city of Savannah, so that if you're out there doing gunfire or celebratory gunfire or otherwise, you're going to get a knock at the door very shortly thereafter. Officers will absolutely know. Likewise, if you hear something, if you see something, say something. Help us be our eyes and ears and stay on top of it. We've seen, by and large, a dramatic reduction in violent crime across the city of Savannah this year. And it goes to show me that our platforms, whether they be Savannah Impact Program, the Behavioral Health Unit, the Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement, we are throwing every investment against the wall to be able to tackle this comprehensively, not just with law enforcement capabilities, but with mental health resources and the like as well. It is a comprehensive strategy and so impressive to see in action. So the strategies that we have are absolutely working. We're seeing cases closed faster than ever before. And of course, we're seeing more people apply to join the Savannah Police Department than ever before because of those new salaries that we were able to provide. Starting salary, $50,000 a year, a $5,000 sign-on bonus, and the promise of a take-home car within 2 years. In addition, if you stick around in the city of Savannah, you get to enjoy the benefits of an incredible old school, what we call a defined benefit plan. Defined benefit plan is your pension, and that you can retire from the city of Savannah. If you stick around long enough, you can actually retire with 100% of your salary. Yes, I don't even think you can do that in the federal government anymore. They have moved on to a different system. So that if you come and join Team Savannah, that you know that you're going to be taken care of well into the future. And actually, the city of Savannah has one of the oldest pension funds in the country that's out there. We have certainly one of the oldest in Georgia. I have the pleasure of serving on that pension board to help, direct some of the investments and make recommendations as we shape this up. because that pension is a promise to our future employees. So no, if you're considering joining the City of Savannah or joining Team Savannah, please, I encourage you, take my number. If you know a friend that's out there looking for work and wants to come and join and answer the call of public service, now is the time. Please tell them, give me a call. I will talk to them at 912-346-9841, and I'll give it to you straight, all about what it's like here to work at Team Savannah. You have fantastic leadership that's out there, brand new equipment, and dramatic investments that we're making, especially in public safety. You have a brand new police headquarters that's being renovated right now, and actually the oldest police headquarters continually operating in the country that's being renovated and restored right now on Oglethorpe Avenue. So you could be working out of that beautiful building. The investments that we're making in technology, the investments that we're making to bring us into the 21st century and 21st policing. Like, it's not just all about, chasing down bad guys. We've got specialized units like the behavioral health unit. We have the horse mounted patrol. We have a canine unit, all of the above, so that you can join this full service metropolitan agency and get to serve in the city that you love. So that's my commercial out there for joining the police department. I began my career in public service as a police officer. I've got my badge, one of my badges out there. I've got the opportunity to serve in the National Mall. It's a fantastic way to serve your community, whether you stick with it or you just do it for 5 years. It's a fantastic way to get out there and serve and help the community that you love. So that's my commercial out there. If you know anybody that's looking to join Team Savannah, we are actively hiring right now for the Savannah Police Department. And so we've got just about 10 minutes here left of Ask Me Anything Live. We've had some good questions. How was it like getting dunked at Hall 2.0? Talking about golden shovels for the Truman Linear Park Trail, and talking about the latest of Vision Zero and our public safety efforts and housing. My goodness, what a Nick Palumbo banner day this was, to be able to talk about all of those things. So what I want you to do in these last couple of minutes is please drop me a line, ask me a question as we're rounding third and wrapping up Ask Me Anything Live August edition. What I want you to do is check out our website, www.nickforsavannah.com. And if you're tuning in today, tomorrow, in the future, please check out our website and consider signing up for our newsletter. It's a fantastic way to stay engaged of what's happening in the community. I won't bother you too much. It happens every Sunday evening. We send out a little blast and a little blurb. It's short and sweet, and good things that are happening in the community as we're moving the district forward. Likewise, if you're in the community and you have something that you'd like to submit and share, it is absolutely a great opportunity for you to do so, and you can share it with our mail list. It can be things that are serious. It can be things that are not so serious. It can be a collage of your 4th District Alderman, which was wild. It can be anything, but please submit it to us there and stay engaged. And give us a call, drop us a line. There's so many different ways. We're out there on TikTok, Instagram, X, Twitter X, whatever that is now, and of course on Facebook and email. So we are just about every single platform. The only one I'm not active on is Nextdoor. Ugh, don't even get me started on Nextdoor, because that is where I think that's where the internet just has to absolutely stop. So Kayla has a fantastic question. What's your favorite movie that you've seen recently? Well, there's only been one. And I tell you, friends, it's been a long time since I've been to the movies, but if you haven't been to that new movie theater on Victory Drive, you are missing out. One, if you get a large bucket of popcorn, it is unlimited popcorn. It is unlimited. You just hit the button and it fills the bucket, which is so cheesy but awesome and cool. You can put as much butter as you want on there, which, it's just wild, a little bit or a lot. 2, they have motorized reclining chairs. 3, you get to choose the chairs that you want to sit in, which is amazing. And 4, me and Kristen got to go see the Barbie movie, and it was awesome. We had a great time. Was I the target audience? I don't know, but I had a blast. And am I Knuff? I hope so. So it was a really good time. We were going to go see back-to-back Barbie and Oppenheimer, but we just totally ran out of gas. So Oppenheimer is going to have to come next time. I was more in a Barbie mood. I was not ready to that on that particular date. I don't think that I was ready for a heavy drama about the atomic bomb. So that it was the Barbie movie for us, and we just had a blast. We had such a good time, and even more so because it was just a wild audience. My friend Clinton Edminster was there with his friends. Like, it was just wild, and so we were just having a blast. So Kayla, we need to go and see that too. And absolutely, we are Knuff. Is it Knuff or Knuff? I think I'm going to go with one full word. But I think that's going to do it for Ask Me Anything Live for this hour here. Kayla, thank you so much for joining us, and for everybody tuning in. As always, it is a pleasure and an honor to serve. These next couple of months are going to be wild, but I ask, please, as we are going to go door to door, mail to mail, and I mean direct mail. That's, you know what? We're going direct mail and sending mail out to get everybody to the polls and engaged in this election cycle. So this one truly matters. It's coming up. We have less than 100 days left. And I want to see every single 4th District resident out there at the polls and actively engaged in the process of choosing their municipal leaders. So with all of that, I really appreciate you all sticking around for this hour. I will see you next month in September for our next edition, the first Tuesday of the month, for Ask Me Anything Live. Until then, reach out to me anytime at npalumbo@savannahga.gov, on our website at www.nickforsavannah.com, or even by phone, if you want to do it old school, at 912-346-9841. Until then, I will see you all around the neighborhood. Yes. Oh, and that's the last thing. Yes. See you at the Wednesday walk at Tiedemann Park, in with the save. I almost forgot. Yes. We have, in addition to Vision Zero, which is coming up next Tuesday and Wednesday, but tomorrow, come and see me at Tiedemann Park at the Wednesday walk. It is starting, I believe, at 6 p.m. I'm going to be there at 6 p.m. So the Wednesday walk at Tiedemann Park, and you guys can hear all about my training experience as I've gone through civil mediation training at the Mediation Center of the Coastal Empire this week. And it's at 6 p.m. at Tiedemann Park. We will see you. It's right in front of the Savannah Arts Academy. And ladies and gentlemen, yes, Kayla will see you there. I will see you there. All of the cool people are going to be there. Come out and join us as we walk around the neighborhood and enjoy the good summer time. So until then, I will see you out there in the neighborhood. Y'all have a good